So today I want to talk about really the future of P3D, but before I get there, I kind of want to just kind of recap a few things that's pretty interesting. First of all, BTC dominance is up to 46.9%. That is mega high right now, and it's been high for a little while. Check this out. That's the highest it's been all year. I think that's incredible. I've been a big believer in Bitcoin. I still think there's a lot of optimistic projects out there. There's a lot of very interesting things out there. But for the most part, I think there's hardly anything that's going to touch Bitcoin, I think, for a little while. And in some ways, cryptocurrency has a long ways to go. I always say this on my channel, that we are part of the pioneers. We are in the early stages, the early phases. This is just such an interesting space. We're still flirting with 8,000. We had a little bit of a drop today. Ethereum's at 464. Ethereum's pretty low. Let me see if this will come up. And this is pretty good, by the way, for P3D. I'll get to that in a minute. I mean, it's pretty good if you're getting into P3D right now. So we're at some pretty solid lows for the year, basically. If you look at, let's come here. So we're pretty much near on a USD value. Let's see here. Where were we at over here? We were down in the high 300s here. So we're pretty close. We may go a little bit lower, and who knows, we may go all the way down to the basement. But we're definitely toward the annual lows or year-to-date lows. And I think that's a good time if you're getting into, if I was going to be buying into Ethereum right now, which I am by proxy because I'm buying into P3D, then this is definitely the time to be getting. That's not investment advice. This is my personal advice. Nothing on this channel needs to be considered investment advice. But I want to talk about P3D a little bit, the future of P3D, because I've been debating this a lot lately. Well, first of all, let me bring up this other website. Hang on. Okay, I'll get to the other site in a minute, but I want to talk about P3D here. I think what they're doing is very just fascinating. You know, the P3D token is a token that on the blockchain, it's basically an ERC20 token, which means that it's running on the Ethereum blockchain. So by proxy, when you're buying P3D, I mean, you're getting your rewards paid out in Ethereum. So you're somewhat investing in Ethereum at the same time. Now, here's the thing about P3D. The way that it works is it's a token, and the whole design behind the token is to be able to earn rewards for being a token holder. It's a unique, it's not proof of stake, but if you think about the purpose in proof of stake, if you understand what that is in the cryptocurrency space, part of proof of stake is to be able to create price stability. Whether people say that or not, that's part of what proof of stake does. It helps create price stability. Proof of Weekends 3D does something very similar. There's a bit of price stability created both in the contract. I don't know if you know that or not. The way the contract is written, just because when tokens are purchased, there's P3D created. When tokens are sold, there's P3D burned. And the whole purpose is to create the supply such that it doesn't just, you know, get massively inflated or deflated. But every time someone buys or sells P3D tokens, then they pay a 10% fee. That 10% fee goes to the token holders. If you buy, sell, or transfer tokens, you have to pay a 10% fee. This is no different than Coinbase or any other exchange that may, you know, charge you a 2 or 3% fee to do a transaction. Here is 10%, but it doesn't go to the house. It doesn't go to the exchange. It gets divided among all token holders. So for all of the exchange fees, the more tokens you're holding, the more of the fees you're getting. They call it rewards. And if you look at how much this has grown, and if you don't know why this has grown, I'll explain this in a minute, but if you take a look at this chart, it's a sweet looking chart, first of all. I mean, this is the hourly chart. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. Let's look at the 6-hour chart. Check this out. Now, if you come here to the 1-week chart, I actually started personally, probably, if I had to guess, it was this week or this week, but I think it was this week right here that I first started buying P3D tokens. And I just bought, you know, a few $100s at a time. and it rose up and then it sold and then nothing really happened. It was a new concept. It seemed fascinating. People bought in. They were getting rewards as everybody was buying in because new tokens were being bought. So previous token holders were getting those 10% fees. And then it kind of flatlined and people's like, well, okay, what's the purpose in the token? And then it kind of, people slowly started selling off, especially people made profits. Then the whole human emotion happens and more people are selling. And I think kind of the idea was that people would sell, there would be a lot of dividends or rewards getting paid out, and then that would cause other people to come in and buy. And it would kind of help it oscillate back and forth. And as long as it's moving back and forth, then there's rewards constantly being paid out. And then we hit this stagnant kind of flat line. Now this is where we got to see the stability. And unfortunately, it won't let me show you this, but it's not doing a good job. But these are weeklies, but there's a lot of stability here. We got down to about 4,500 and it seemed pretty solid. Like it just wasn't moving a whole lot. And people like me, 4,400, 4,400, people like me, see, it wasn't moving a whole lot there for 3 weeks. It didn't move a lot there. So it kind of stayed in about the same place there for about 6 weeks. And people like me, I mean, I wasn't going to sell my tokens. Like I was going to ride it to zero if that's where it went, just because I think it's so interesting and fascinating. But over here, they came out with this POWH3D. And FOMO is this whole game that is really kind of poking fun at the old ICO, exit scamming, pyramid scamming, Ponzi scheme type world. And basically it's a simulated Ponzi scheme in a way. That's a big part of it. And you just kind of earn rewards, and it's trickled down because people want to say, how come the rewards have slowed down? It's just based on math. The amount of, there has to be so much more ETH coming into the contract to keep paying all the key holders. There's 34 million key holders. So that's why it slowed down. But if you don't know what POWH3D is about, I've discussed that ad nauseum on this channel. But this game is interesting in the fact of part of the game throws a small percentage of Ethereum back to the P3D tokens. And so that's caused it to go bonkers right here. Because all of a sudden there's a value, there's kind of a use case with this token. There's something to create volatility. And when the volatility is created, that's kind of where the rewards come from. Now this is very interesting, and I want to talk about kind of the future of what this looks like. I'm going to be buying P3D. There's another game coming out, which is a FOMO short, an abbreviated version of this. Or FOMO, I don't even know the name of it. FOMO quick FOMO, whatever they're going to call it, is coming out, I guess, in about 24 hours, literally, provided this timer is accurate. And I'll probably play with it a little bit and kind of see what happens. I've got some legitimate concerns because it's going to be on a 90-second timer. I think that may change. That I've seen in the Discord some people say it might be a 3-minute timer, a 1-minute timer. I don't know. And it doesn't really matter. I mean, I can look at the game objectively and say I like it, I don't like it, and I guess the market will decide whether they like that version or not. But nonetheless, here's what's going to happen. P3D is going to create speculation, if nothing else. People will probably buy more P3D or they'll sell to get into the game. I don't know which. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But people are either going to buy more out of anticipation or they're going to sell. Now, if it repeats the same cycle that happened here, people bought. That when the game seemed to stagnate or slow down a little bit, a bunch of people sold because they wanted to move their money basically back into P3D tokens. And then people were building up anticipation for POWH3D and the quick short version. And so a bunch of people were coming back in the P3D and holding. People made profits, so they sold. And it's this constant back and forth. And I think we're going to see some of the same thing here in the faster version or the shorter version, the quicker version, whatever you want to call it, this new version. I think it's going to create some more, kind of, I don't know if anxiety is the right word, but some buying and selling, some enthusiasm, some emotion. And when there's emotion in the market, that's a good thing. And so I'm kind of interested to see what's happening. Now, when it comes to the future of P3D, where do I think it can go in the future? I think it has a lot of potential. I've never seen anything quite like this. Ever. The way you lose in P3D ultimately is to sell your tokens, in my opinion. Meaning you can hold these tokens for a long time. And if you don't get caught up on the price of the token, the prices went from $5 to $20. If you don't get caught up too much in the price of the token, and you just focus on collecting tokens because you believe long term in what's possible, and you just keep basically compounding your tokens, then you can grow your token balance to quite a bit. And I plan to do this over the coming year or so. Now, will P3D still be here? Before someone says it's a smart contract, it's still going to be here. Okay. BitConnect is a blockchain. It's still here, but that doesn't matter. It's mostly useless as a token. So it just, P3D will still be here in a year, but will people still be using it? Will it be bigger and better? I think so, and that's why I like it so much. But ultimately what's going to happen is what other projects are coming down the way. Now, this team just, I don't want to sound too much like a fanboy, but it's exciting, man, what they got going on. I mean, it really is. I mean, they're talking about another token, another serious token, which is another project, I think, somehow connected to P3D. They're talking about coming out with developer tools where other people can create games. Now, I would love to see them get away from gambling type games. However, that might be a necessary even for a while, because the most popular software or dApps created on the Ethereum blockchain has been gambling games of some version. So it'll be interesting to see what happens and what they come out with next. But I do believe that there's never been anything done like this before. And I think it's fascinating when you consider the fact that all the P3D holders are always looking for what's the next token that's going to correlate with P3D, or what's the next game that's going to correlate with P3D. So if someone comes out with some sort of a project, whether it's a game or something else with a different sort of use case, you've already got a community of people who are rooting for its success. There's almost a built-in audience already. And I think if you think about that from a marketing standpoint, that's incredibly, incredibly interesting. So I'm going to continue to, for the foreseeable future, invest in this project. And I'm very excited about the future of this project. And I don't know what's going to happen. It really is going to come down to, can they keep creating dApps that people like? And can they keep creating enthusiasm and excitement? And I think it's going to be good for them if they can get away from the game space and ultimately, if it's possible, I don't know what's possible with Ethereum, but if they can create something that is going to be able to have other applications outside of just games. Now, let me just say this as well. These developers are hardcore. I mean, there's an Ethereum developer out there, for whatever reason, he doesn't like these guys, and he kind of tried to attack their code, their POWH3D code, and he found a little glitch that amounted to nothing, basically. I mean, and he made a big deal about it, but they made him look like an idiot because they actually had reached out to him and tried to get him to take a look at it himself. So I don't know what the future holds overall, and I'm just a supporter of this token. By the way, I've recently removed my affiliate links. I never had an affiliate link for P3D, and I had one for POWH3D, and I recently removed them because I thought, is it really about making money by promoting the project? Is that what it's about? Or is it about just promoting the project for a greater purpose? And I'm not opposed to making money. I'm a capitalist at my core, but I thought, you know what? I think I'm just going to remove my affiliate links for now related to POWH3D and P3D. And I just want to see, the bottom line is, if there's awareness and people like it and they believe in it and they choose to buy into it, then that in and of itself ultimately helps the entire community at large. I mean, more people become holders, if you will. And I've been kind of messing around with this little chart over here. This always freaks people out, but keep in mind, I'm not using this for dollars, I'm using this for tokens, because the value of the token can fluctuate a lot, as it has. But let's just assume that you started with 100 tokens and you were getting about a 5% reward in tokens each day. You did it every year and you just kept reinvesting that. So you did a daily compound or daily reinvest at a 0.5%. If you calculate that out, again, this isn't dollars, this is tokens. But those 100 tokens can come up to 600 tokens. Now, if that token price is $5, you just turn $5 into $3,500. Or $5 into, $3,000. If it's, $10, you just turn that $1,000 into $6,000. And if it's $20, you just turn, $2,000 into, what is that? $12,000? Yeah, $12,000. So And again, I've seen daily rates. I mean, I've just now started calculating my daily rates to kind of see where I'm at. I got a little spreadsheet. And actually, in the past few days, I'm averaging 0.37. But these have been low days. I mean, when we may see 3 and 4% days when the new game comes out. I'm not sure. We'll see. But if you calculate that out, it still ends up starting from 100, going all the way to 385 tokens. But if we end up averaging 1%, that's average over the whole year. Then we could see 100 tokens go all the way to 3,700 tokens. And again, you're earning rewards based off volatility. So it's going to be fascinating to see if volatility even continues. And it's going to be fascinating to see what comes after POWH3D. But this is one of the more exciting things in this space, projects in this space. Another thing about P3D is if you like the project, if you like what they're doing, you just keep holding the tokens and you don't sell the tokens. And you just reinvest your rewards every so often, whether it's daily or every other day or weekly or 3 times a day, it doesn't matter. What you end up doing is you keep increasing your position in the P3D or the Proof of Weak Hands ecosystem. I mean, and you just keep, your position just gets stronger and stronger. So as people come in and out, as there's new games throwing Ethereum into the contract, you're basically going to get more and more rewards from that if it continues to do well. I believe that it can do well. Ultimately, you have to make that decision for yourself, but it's going to be fascinating to watch. Also, before I get out of here, just a quick update on my crypto browser earnings. I actually just did a withdrawal for 100,000 Satoshi, just to show you that here. Right here. And I sent this over to an advertising website. I'm just kind of testing it out to see how it works. I'm going to be doing that a little bit more. AdBTC is where I've done a lot of advertising that's worked really well. There's a link down below, by the way, for AdBTC. And if you want to sign up for Crypto Browser, there's a link for that as well. You can check that out. But also, take a look. By the way, I don't use Crypto Browser for MetaMask. I just don't know how I feel about that, so I just haven't used it for that. I love this browser. It's a clean browser. It's easy to use. But I just thought, I don't know if I should connect my MetaMask to Crypto Browser. So I have my Mozilla browser for that. But anyway, take a look at Proof of Weak Hands 3D. Hang out in the Discord. If nothing else, do your research. What is blockchain? What is the Ethereum blockchain? How is Ethereum different from Bitcoin? And what is an ERC20 token? And what is P3D doing as an ERC20 token that is so radically different? What they're doing is just incredible. I mean, it is absolutely, absolutely incredible. Yeah. I will be definitely watching POWH3D short tomorrow night around 8 o'clock, 24 hours from now. And it's going to be fascinating to see what happens. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day.